My father had the great idea because he had a friend who owned a piece of a horse. He got me a summer job on the racetrack, which I didn't want to take because I didn't really like the racetrack, and I didn't know anything about it, and that turned into me never leaving the racetrack, basically.
Wow.
He regretted that summer job, getting me that summer job.
And what racetrack was that?
Belmont.
Belmont.
For Alan Jerkins.
So you started with the chief right from the door?
Yes, I was with him for years and years.
What kind of man was the chief?
Oh my gosh, he was the greatest. Greatest that ever walked through the gates, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He was a guy that he trained you as much as he trained the horses, you know. He knew each person and what their personality was like and how to best motivate them to do better, and he helped a lot of people.
You know, what's your favorite moment in horse racing?
As a rider, I rode for him. He put me on horses later in life, in the afternoon, so that was a lot of fun, mostly because of him. You know, it was fun to make him proud of me, you know. And when he could give me different chances to do new things, it was fantastic. But I would say the filly that I trained, Sweet Reason, a few years ago, she won 3 Grade 1s, and that was a pretty spectacular year or year and a half.
Can you tell me about some of these black grooms that he had working for him and these guys?
Yeah, Junior Sally, and everybody had a nickname. Duck Butter and Jimmy Harris, they were partners. They were both grooms, but Alan always partnered up 2 grooms so that you could help each other, and one guy gets a day off, and you know the other one's familiar with their horses and stuff, and they were real professionals. And Boone was the greatest. That might have been the strongest man ever. He could walk down the shed row. He'd pull the straw bales with the pitchfork down off the ledge and just walk down the shed row like this, holding them up in the air.
Wow.
He was amazing.
And you know, what made these guys so special, like such good horsemen?
I just think they did it right from the beginning, and they all worked for really good people. I mean, obviously they were with the chief when I was there, but they all came from other, like down in South Carolina, all different. They started from the bottom up. They learned it the right way. There was no cheating, like, you know, doing something quickly. It was take your time, do it right. I remember Jimmy Harris, he was tubbing a horse. Every horse had to go in ice at Alan's barn. And he's tubbing a horse, and the horse is kind of trying to get out of the tub, and he said, if you eat this man's oats, you're going to stand in this man's ice. Wow. There's so many great stories. The
name of my program is The Real Players Inside the Backstretch. And how important is the men and women that wake up every day and do this job?
Well, without the workers, and there is no game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's tough. It gets harder and harder now in these days because, you know, you have certain rules now, and they're good. They're meant to help the people, like in terms of how many hours you can work, but it's a little difficult because horses are 24/7. You know, I mean, they're large animals. They're in a stall. They come out to train in the morning, and it's best if you can get them out again in the afternoon. I mean, it'd be like you staying in bed, you know, except for 1 hour a day or 2 hours. So you need people that love the game, and so just want to do it, want to come back every day, maybe, no days off sometimes, you know, want to come back twice during the day. It's a lot of work, and you start really early in the morning, and it pretty much lasts all day, you know. I mean, you have a break in between.
24/7, 365. This game don't stop.
That's what it is.
And you know, right, when you went out on your own to be a trainer.
Well, it was funny. It was an accident. So I was just I was actually working for Mike Hushin at the time, and I had a group of. I was thinking of going back to school and going to law school because I'd already graduated college and stuff, and these women who were lawyers sat down at lunch with me, and they were telling me what steps I would need to take, and they said, oh, we used to have racehorses, but we don't have any now, and Saratoga's coming up, and it's not going to be fun without having a horse. And I said, well, why don't you claim one? Just claim one and take it to Saratoga. So they ended up getting a group together, and then they came, and I asked Mike if he would claim the horse for them, which they did, and then they gave the horse to me later on, and I started training. That was my first horse, Flippy Diane. So So it was Castle Village Farm they were the first ones to say, you know, why don't you train the horse? You know, you've been around all this time. We'd have a lot of fun together. So we did.
And you know what's the why for you that keep you coming back?
I don't know. It's a bit addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, with Alan gone, it's not nearly as much fun because even now, even up until he passed away, every win, it was really about making him proud and him calling me and saying, oh, that was a nice job, good job. That was like motivation for me. It gets a little, you know, I don't know, it's a little sad when you don't have those people around you anymore, you know.
Yeah. And you know, what you think the biggest difference is from racing back in the days versus today?
There's a lot of difference. I mean, the horses are different. You know, for instance, with the sales, with those breeze sales, the way they prep them is a whole different ball game. The kind of product you get, and how you go about training. You know, because most of them are already breezing, and you used to get horses from like DuPont and Hobo Farms, and they were like, you know, you get them and they were going. You couldn't go straight. They didn't know what they were doing, and I mean they were broke, but they weren't like experienced like the ones that come from the sale now. So it's a little different. And they got the numbers. Everything's about the numbers now. You know, the sheet numbers and your percentages, and nobody paid attention. Nobody kept track, I don't think, of percentages back then, because sometimes you would run horses just to teach them something or just to experiment with distances, and now trainers are afraid to do that because they don't want to waste a race, and then all of a sudden their percentage goes down, and so it changes the way you train and the way you make decisions, you know.
All right, who's the best jockey you've seen ride a horse?
I think we have a wonderful jockey colony. I mean, I wouldn't even begin to try to tell you who's the best one in there, because
they all great.
They really are. This colony in New York is incredible.